JavaScript podcast. This is episode 71, and now we have got back Artus Sosins. That was a bit ill last week and could not record the podcast. Hello, Artus. Feeling better now?
Hello. Yes, a little. And I can see you are looking better because of a new camera, probably.
Oh, I thought it was my beard. I forgot to shave one. Yeah, so
it still has some time till mine.
Yeah. I need to take more time to grow. No, I have to shave it. It's just I didn't have time. Anyway, I also have a better microphone and a better internet connection. That's probably why it is looking better for your side. So, but today we are here to talk about JavaScript. Just let's review quickly the topics that we are talking about. We are going to start about a topic which is basically, I think, an article, a humor article of what they titled "How It Feels to Learn JavaScript."
How about sharing the screen?
Oh, that is a good idea.
Yeah, it's always a good idea.
Okay. Do you see now?
Yep.
Okay, so I was telling about this article. Then we are talking about another article, somewhat similar topic, but different in the sense that it talks about the state of JavaScript in 2016 in terms of JavaScript flavors that are being preferred by different developers. Then we have an article about comparing the different ways to declare a variable. Besides var, which is the original way, there is also let and const. So we are going to comment about an article that compares these ways of declaring a variable. Then we have an article that claims that JavaScript and Node.js continues to hit the world. So it's just more to cover many places where JavaScript is being used nowadays. Then there's an article about a new debugger from Mozilla called Debugger HTML, which is a standalone debugger. Then there is an article about optimizing the startup JavaScript code with a technique that gathers, I would say, bootstrap code for your application and makes it run faster. And then finally, we have a topic on another debugging way, this time using Chrome in a way that you can debug both the browser side and the server side on Node.js. So those are the topics for this month. So getting back to the first topic, how it feels to learn JavaScript in 2016. Artus, you suggested to talk about this article. It seems to be a piece of humor, right?
Yeah, it was trending in the feeds I was following, so I thought we should share it and talk about it. And basically, article is about how non-JavaScript developer wants to develop something in web, like retrieve data from database and display it on the web page. And he talks with a new JavaScript professional, which is up to date with all the JavaScript standards and trends. And this talk is about how he wanted to do simple tasks with simple tools. And in the end, it turns out he needs lots of new stuff and lots of things to grasp and learn about. So the JavaScript professional at first suggests him to use React, and nobody uses jQuery anymore. So you need to use React. To use React, you need to learn some JSX, like XML, like DOM manipulation. You need to use Babel, or else React would not run. You need to have some task manager to pre-process React and Babel, so you would not include them all, but only minified versions and stuff like that. and then you need to learn about modules and and lots of complicated stuff. So you need to prepare, you need to get your stack ready before you can even start to develop the web application.
Yeah.
And yeah, lots of people considered it funny, and it's actually also kind of true. If you want to develop a big application, you need to prepare a large stack and have it all ready. But I think, at least in my opinion, for the simple task, you can still get back to plain JavaScript or even jQuery and do what you need.
Yeah, or just Node.js.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but you, since you program in Node.js, you don't go through all this complication, right?
Well,
Node.js
is on server side. It's a little bit more different, but still you have a task manager to do something, to prepare something, stuff like that. But yeah, interesting is that well, if you are not up to date with latest JavaScript trends, by reading this humorous, funny article, it will also get you up to speed of what is required for some large deployments and stuff like that. So it's not only for leisure and fun time reading, but also can actually teach you something.
Yeah. I understand this is probably right, and also it's probably scary. And well, making a parallel with PHP world, it sounds pretty much similar. Oh, because if you want to use a framework, then there are dependencies, and dependencies require that you learn about something. It's probably not as complicated, but it's scary enough, I think. And for people that want to get started, it's like, okay, I already give up. And, but I think this is just if you want to use React, right? It's after deciding to use React, it's when it becomes more complicated, or not?
Yeah, you already need to use the Babel to transpile it and stuff like that. So probably it's what complicates it mostly.
Yeah, I don't know if you used to read the Asterix books. Do you remember those books of Asterix?
No.
Okay, you are not old.
Can you remind it? Probably.
No, Asterix is a character of the times of the Roman Empire.
Oh, I mean Asterix and Obelix. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. And they used to say these Romans are crazy. It's like they think they will be able to defeat the world, but in the end, nothing will happen. The simple village of Asterix will defeat them. Okay. Anyway, moving on to the next topic, which is about the shared screen here again. State of JavaScript. JavaScript Flavors, which is somewhat related with what we have talked about just now. There are loads of flavors, but in the end, well, I guess browsers already support at least part of ECMAScript 6, but most of the other things have to be compiled into plain JavaScript. But here, I think it is a result of a survey on which it is shown that about the awareness of the different types of flavors. Well, I don't understand why they ask people about plain JavaScript and it doesn't say 100%. Does that mean there are 3% that don't know about JavaScript? Plain JavaScript?
He explains it in the next paragraph that you would expect it would score 100% awareness, but I imagine some people couldn't resist the temptation of picking "I've never heard of JavaScript" and JavaScript survey.
Okay, it's
So
like
it's
they
biased
want
opinion.
to joke.
Yeah.
Or maybe say, no, I'm a superior developer. I don't do with the minor JavaScript flavors. Okay, but still 99% of CoffeeScript, man.
Well, they know
I
about
must
it,
be.
I think. Even when you are installing.
Awareness. It's not
Yeah.
like you know about, have used it. Okay.
Yeah.
ECMAScript's 98% okay. TypeScript, well, given that the CoffeeScript gives 99%, 98% for TypeScript is acceptable. Elm, I never heard about. ClojureScript, I heard about, but I think this is a very specific subset of JavaScript developers that answered this survey. Anyway, regarding...
You can answer it too, actually.
Yeah, is it still going on?
I think so, yeah. It's just a subset of preliminary results. It have not ended yet, so you can still take the survey.
Okay, those are the ones that saw the news in Hacker News or Reddit or something, right? That answered the survey. I don't know, but I don't know about you, but usually I have so much work, I don't frequent those sites. Nothing against them, it's just unfortunately I'm buried with work. Anyway, the next item is interests. They say only 20, a small part of developers are interested in plain JavaScript.
Well, I think it's a subset of it's a subset of if you don't know it already, then do you want to learn it or you don't want to learn it? So that's why the plain JavaScript is the least part, because many already know it.
Yeah, they don't want to learn. It's like 139 people and want to learn 142 people. Okay, well.
Nobody wants to learn CoffeeScript also.
Everybody wants to learn CoffeeScript?
No, nobody wants to learn CoffeeScript.
Oh, nobody.
Most of people want to learn TypeScript, it seems.
TypeScript is the one from Microsoft?
Could be, yes.
You don't even know. You are one of those that put, I don't want to learn TypeScript.
I don't want to learn any TypeScript, any flavor. I'm okay with plain old JavaScript.
So much free time. Only people with much free time have answered this survey. Satisfaction? Well, really. Regarding plain JavaScript, would they use again? Of course, they have to. What else they are going to use? Even if it is transpiled and ECMAScript 6, well, that's basically the next JavaScript, so it can be included in something. And the rest just reflect that most of their flavors are not very much used. For instance, CoffeeScript, it seems to have a rejection because the vast majority of people that used it would not use again. I don't know, probably because ECMAScript 6 fulfills its whatever would be the advantages. I don't know. Anyway, then there is the item on happiness. People are not happy with the plain JavaScript. What is? Oh, this JavaScript flavor happiness on a scale of 1 to 5.
So how are they happy with what they use?
Most people is on the 4.
Yep, almost happy.
This really reminds me the story of jQuery. Oh, jQuery this, jQuery that, but people still use jQuery. And also, it's like WordPress in the PHP world. Oh, WordPress code sucks, full of global variables, and those plugins are awful, they are insecure, and so on and so on. Then, okay, but you have a blog, right? Yes. What do you use? WordPress. It's like just the other day I went to Quora. I don't go much to Quora, but for some reason I went to Quora. I went to Quora because it asked me to answer a question about the topic that interested me. It was not about I think it was OAuth.
PHP?
Something related to OAuth, not specific with any language.
Okay.
But then it asked me to answer a question: why Python developers hate JavaScript, PHP? Well, I wrote a more or less detailed answer. No, I didn't give an answer why they hate PHP. You need to ask a Python developer. I'm not one, but. Basically, all these language wars and preferences, libraries, frameworks, and JavaScript flavors are silly because sometimes it makes sense to use one, sometimes it makes sense to use the other. It's not like one is the best for everything. And the same goes for languages. There's no reason to hate. You hate like in, I would rather not use it, but it's not like you have something personal against a language or a JavaScript flavor or whatever. Well, that's my opinion. I don't know what you think.
I think actually you can name the Hack and Zephyr the flavor of PHP.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yes, they are like derivatives, but then, for instance, if you can run PHP, plain PHP on Hack, but for Zephyr you need to make some conversions, if I'm not mistaken. Well, the start PHP tag they abolished, so you need to remove it. I don't know if, because it uses type declarations to generate more optimized compiled code. That's the advantage. Well, anyway, I think it's positive to have these different flavors because in the end, the leading flavor will prevail, but it will adopt the enhancements of the other flavors. That's what I think. Basically, ECMAScript 6 is like the ECMAScript 5 plus features of the other flavors, I think. Okay, moving on to the next topic. There is an article here. Is the var dead? The var is the variable declaration, which in JavaScript is to declare variables on the local function scope. And it compares with let and const. So let it's for
declaring a variable.
Declaring a variable.
You could say that let is a new var.
Yeah, but it's like in C, right? That you can declare a variable inside a restricted scope, even inside a function.
Yeah. So yeah, if var, you could define var and it would be scoped to a function, then the let would be scoped to, I think, any curly brackets used, if or loop. So it would be scoped up to the first upper curly bracket.
Yeah.
And const, well, const is a constant, so it does not need
constant is it's just a number that you can change. And this reminds me of the C language because I used to program C a lot, at least in the 90s. Oh, I'm old. It's more than 20 years ago. I remember that one thing that we used to do to generate better code is to, if you have a variable inside a function that is used only for instance, a loop, you put that loop inside the braces and only use that variable inside that scope. And it would be like faster, I think. And
you switch to with coding.
Yeah. Well, by the way, just a note. While I'm talking, you can also look at the chat and maybe comment to people that are interacting there.
Okay, good try.
Because anyway, so I was talking about the equivalent in C. That is, there will be an advantage because variables in C, when it is compiled, they are stored in the stack. There is there will be for instance, if you have two scopes inside a function and that function would use different variables inside those scopes, it would reuse the stack space where the variables would be stored, and it would be more efficient. So the idea was to make it more efficient, but in JavaScript, I don't even know what happens when you declare a variable, where it is stored. I don't know if they use the stack or it's dynamically allocated. Like for instance, in PHP, it's dynamically allocated. You like assign a value to a variable, and that value is disposed when the function exits. In PHP, there is no such thing as scope variables until so far. And so far, it includes PHP 7.1, but in JavaScript, since there is this possibility, it can be interesting to actually make the code more efficient by not reallocating memory, which is usually what adds overhead on dynamic languages. Well, that is my experience with lower level stuff, but then since I don't program in C for many years, I don't even know how things work these days. I remember in the early 90s, I still programmed in C for Motorola CPUs, which were used in Amiga computers and also Mac computers. And there were compilers that use CPU registers to store variables, and it would be much faster than storing them in memory. And this would be an advantage with the RISC CPUs like PowerPC, and then now the CPUs of the ARM architecture, which is used practically all mobile devices these days. They are also RISC, so they have many CPU registers, and they can optimize code by storing variables in CPU registers instead of I mean the memory. Anyway, moving on. The next topic is about we'll talk about this one about LED. The next topic is about an article that says JavaScript continues to eat the world. I think it's yet another one of those articles to praise JavaScript. I think we mentioned
and
some
you don't
articles.
like
It's like preaching to the choir. I mean, we know JavaScript is very popular. Why does it need more propaganda? And well, anyway, this article is a bit different because it mentions the less obvious areas that JavaScript is being used. Well, nowadays there are desktop applications using JavaScript. We talked about the Electron environment. There are many applications being developed in JavaScript. I think Electron is from GitHub, right? We talked about it.
I think so.
Yeah, I think they developed it to develop a desktop client for GitHub. And they also mention iPhone, Android applications. They mentioned React Native, but I was thinking more about Cordova and
Titanium.
Yes, but
Accelerator, yeah.
Are those platforms not being used as much these days?
Yeah, I think that's the specific of this article, because in all the examples it actually mentions libraries from newest trends. So Cordova and Accelerator could be already considered.
Okay, so they are not new. That's
Yeah,
what they mean.
They are not interesting anymore.
They are not the new thing.
Yeah, because again, for IoT or robots, you can mention Cyclone.js and stuff like that, but again, it mentions Nodebots, something new that I haven't even tried and heard of.
Yeah, and then it also mentions I switched the here. Okay, Internet of the Things and robots. Aren't robots the Internet of the Things too?
Internet of the Things is mostly having some event-based data transfers, but robots could be much more complicated.
And talking about robots, I've even posted these days. I'm going to try to share the screen. Did you see that it's a sort of a drone that is autonomous and follows you and records you in video?
There are lots of such drones. Which one exactly do you mean?
It's the good question. I have to find it in my timeline because on Facebook. But this one from Chinese people that studied in Stanford. I'm trying to remember the name because I mentioned it several days ago. And there was also another one, which was a drone, but the drone carried the person on the top, so the person could fly. Did you see that video?
Wow, no.
I have to show this. I
haven't been waiting on Facebook, so I haven't seen it.
No, but hang on. Let me share the screen because this is history. I used to have dreams that I was flying. Didn't you ever have dreams that you were flying? I used to have dreams. So now it's possible with drones. Let me. What is the window to share? Okay. Now this one, sharing the screen, application. Okay. Here it is. I don't know if it is too small. Oh, I think I'll try to scale it. So, but there's something called full screen. And now, can you see it full screen now? Can you believe this?
That's impressive. Oh, it's like a real hoverboard.
Oh, forget hoverboards. This is much better. I think. Well, basically it's a hoverboard. I want one of these. Oh, this is awesome.
It's a real life Iron Man.
And basically, this is what, a drone that it's probably a very powerful one, because they used to be light, but to carry a person on the top, it's probably carbon fiber that it is made. So I already told my wife that I want one of these for Christmas. So I don't know if it works for you, but I think you can also ask your wife one. Let me also find the other one, because we're talking about robots. And regarding robots, there was another video that I'm going to share here. If I can switch to the right window, of course. Well, Facebook is beeping on me all the time. I don't know if you can listen, but let me see if I can find it quickly, because I already also ordered one to my wife, as if she is very rich, and it is also worth noting. And since you are talking about robots and Internet of the Things, because this is a really smart drone. So, okay, I'm going to pause here. So, okay, and where is it? The screen sharing is here. Okay, and look at this. If I can switch to the right window. Okay. Did you see this one? Get Over, it's the name.
Yeah, I saw this one. This also quite impressive.
Yeah. Not that I want to jump on a cliff to water, but since I've been recording lots of videos these days, this is interesting, because sometimes I need to adjust something. Not that I want to record videos of me talking from one place to the other, but it is great because it also stabilizes by itself. Not only it follows you, but it can allow you to record some pretty nice videos. I think 1 or 2 months ago I bought a course, and the videos that were announcing the course had a lot of takes taken by drones. So and it is certainly not a production by some Hollywood studios. It was more like something that you could do with a regular drone, but this one is very advanced. Anyway, we are talking about JavaScript, and I mentioned here Internet of the Things using JavaScript and robots. So all this should be running on top of Node.js, and that's why they say JavaScript is eating the world. I think it was Mark Andreessen, the creator of the Netscape browser. Nowadays he's a great investor, and he said software will eat the world. So they adopted the phrase, you say JavaScript is eating the world.
Soon they will say JavaScript is new PHP.
Well, when they have ported all the WordPress environment.
Please don't start new hoaxes about WordPress being ported to Node.js.
Well, we don't know. I suspect they are trying to. Anyway, it seems the statistics of PHP on web are used. It's like 82%. And I thought, well, with all this story, Node.js, isn't Node.js probably eating the share of PHP? I think it's probably because of WordPress. Despite the share of WordPress is like 25% of the whole share. So I don't know. Maybe the web on the server side will be still dominated by PHP for many years, because there are many developers that continue to develop on PHP, just like people use Windows on desktop. And maybe these other things will be dominated by JavaScript and Node.js. At that, I don't have any doubt. Okay, moving on to the next topic. It's about the debugger HTML from Mozilla, which is a standalone debugger.
And it was built with React.
Yeah.
At least they say so.
Yeah, but one thing that I was curious is, it is standalone, but in the end you open it in a browser, right? It provides a web server, so you can look at it regardless of the code that you are debugging.
Yeah, well, it's standalone I think in the sense that it's more browser independent. It could be launched in any browser, but it still requires a browser to debug, because you need to view the page in the browser. So not completely standalone. Yeah.
You connect it to see it in a browser, so it serves web pages, user interface based on React, right?
Yeah, but it's also, I think, uses Node.js, so you need to start the Node.js process and then open it in the browser, so it would show you. So it's a server side plus browser side together.
Well, I think this is interesting, but could this be used to debug regular browser-based applications, or that isn't the purpose?
I think that, you mean currently in the browser?
Yeah.
I think yeah. Why not? They
could
have
it replace the debuggers used in the browsers?
Yes, but they say that they integrated this debugger into developer tools for Fireworks, so they are using the same thing in the browser.
Oh, so in the end, it's the same thing. It's just a version that can be detached from.
Yeah, exactly.
From the browser, I mean, and well, okay, that is interesting. So moving on to the next topic, which is about Optimize.js, which is a library for optimizing the startup of JavaScript. Okay, so it is here, and we talked about this before recording, and we mentioned that this is to optimize code to be run by Node.js, or could it be also for the browser?
Well, it probably could be for the browser, but it would not make much sense probably. So let me try to explain a little bit. So most of the JavaScript engines do some kind of pre-parsing step with JavaScript, then maybe check some syntax if it can be compiled and stuff like that, but it's not actually reading all the functions and compiling them or then doing anything with them. It's more like a lazy loader. Until function is not called, it would not load and process it, and so it allows a fast start time, which is mostly for browsers, which they need this. So the page starts as immediately as possible, but then each time when the function loads, if it was not processed, then it gets processed before, and then only then it gets executed. And how usually parsers do it, they look for the opening bracket symbol near the function name, function calls. So they're trying to find these function calls and then reading the function, parse it and process it, or whatever they need to do with it. And basically, this library, Optimize.js, exploits this feature and goes through all the functions and adds the opening and closing brackets near them, so like they're going to be executed right now. So the parser would go through them and already preload them and pre-parse them, and everything would be ready to use, which again reduces the start time because parser needs to go through all the code, but speeds up the runtime when you are calling these functions. So it's mostly usable for server side, I would say, rather than browser side, because in browser side the startup speed is really important.
Okay, so for server side, do you mean that code assembled this way would run faster or start faster?
Start slower probably, but run faster. And this improvement should depend on how large are the functions which are skipped and unloaded by the engines, or how many of different there are functions. If you are calling the same function all the time, then only the first call probably would be slower until the function is processed, and then calling it repeatedly would be again fast. So
okay, well, I think this is interesting. So basically, what it does is to assemble a bunch of libraries that you may be using, and that would be the optimized code in the sense that it will be parsed all together as one instead of parsing separate files. Okay, I see. Well, there is always a minimal gain in the browser side too, I think. Okay.
Well, they are reporting large improvements actually.
Really for the browser or
used for the browser, yeah, I think so.
This is interesting. Well, I think this deserves some study to understand how exactly it gains the performance. Okay, moving on to the next topic. Again, another debugger. Let me share the screen here. Now with OBS to stream this to live coding, it's like I have to figure which one is the right one to to share the screen. Okay. So this article here. Oh wait, I'm in
no, not the article.
Okay, the article here says it's about Chrome Dev tools that can not only debug code on the browser side but also on the server side running Node.js, which is very interesting because of all the interactions. Like you send the AJAX request to the server, and when it gets to the server, you can put some breakpoints and debug the Node.js code. I think this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you tried this? No.
No, I've not tried, but yeah, the main interesting thing that the debugging, as they say, is in parallel. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you can really debug both UI and what it does on the server, and if it works really great, then I think all the IDs like WebStorm ID or Visual Code ID should be implementing something like this.
Yes, and it says it is in Node.js 6.3.
Yeah, that's actually interesting because the Firefox article also mentioned that it should be some latest Node.js 6 version. So maybe there is something in the Node.js specifically that would make it easier to do or better to do.
So just the other month they were launching Node.js 2 and it is already in 6, right? I haven't been.
Where did you hear? It was IO.js.
Yeah. But when they merged it,
then the fourth version. They were merged together. It was the fourth version.
Yeah.
And then there is the fifth version, and now there is sixth version. But the long time support is still in fourth version. Fifth and sixth, I think, are still called like beta maybe, or not really, maybe production ready. At least fifth is not recommended to use, and sixth is not so stable probably.
Yeah, and it requires Chrome 55. I just noticed because I only use the stable version. The world is already hard enough with the stable version, let alone not using the stable version. So
what's your stable now? 53?
It's 54, and I think
54 already. Okay.
Updated recently. So it says it is Canary, but this is news of the other month, September 29. 2 weeks, 3 at most. So, okay, but you still have to go to developer tools, enable some experiments.
Yes, and you have to press Shift 6 times to show the hidden experiments, which was
since you develop a lot in Node.js, what do you think? Are you eager to use this possibility? Or
yes. Debugging for Node.js, debugging, I think it's something that really lacks in tools that I use and could be improved. Especially what I would really want is to have remote debugging capabilities to remote servers and stuff like that. I don't know, probably.
So what do you use these days to debug? Some kind of IDE?
There's some Node packages that would do the debugging.
Just do the regular print, echo print, or printf.
I consider if it helps, then yeah, I can do that before I try to mangle with some debugging tools.
Yeah.
But if you really need to debug, yeah, that's some process attaches that does it. But I have not used anything specifically.
Right. For me, the JavaScript that I use is mostly browser side, but for PHP code, most of the times I just use the PHP error log function or some other, because I just monitor the error log file and just send the stuff there, because if you have to open the debugger, set it up, put the breakpoints wherever they are, it's often a lot of bureaucracy. But there are a few rare cases on which I use a debugger. I use Eclipse PDT, which is it's like Zen Studio, open source version of Zen Studio, I use it only for very complicated code that I need to run single step, because the error log debugging is not enough. What I use it's for instance, just the other day I have a class that is a parser for CSS, and that it was not complete. It did not support all the constructs of CSS, but I needed to support like keyframes and media queries and stuff. So I had support to that, but I had found some bugs, could not figure with the regular debugging, and I used PDT. But other than that, I don't use much. I don't know. So we basically do something similar, like use some packages to output debugging, and for you it's faster.
And then setting up some debug connection, in most time it's faster.
Yeah. So you don't use IDE to write your code?
Yeah, well, there is a problem that I am on Windows and we have something, lots of things that are Linux specific, so I can't really debug it locally. I work mostly remotely. And if there would be some tools that would work great remotely, it would be great, but there are not much.
Yes, in PHP you need to install some kind of debugging extension so the IDEs can connect to it.
Yeah, so same thing.
It's probably similar. Well, okay, I think this is an interesting idea. I thought that other one of Mozilla was like the same thing. Okay, now we are going to start the PHP and JavaScript Innovation Award of this month. Back again with Johnny Mas here that will help me to comment on the latest packages. This time we're going to comment on the nominees of July.
Yes.
So July, the July ones were voted on August, then in September the results come out. So there is no way we can influence the voting with our opinions here. That's why there is always this few months delay between the recording and the actual nomination. So let me share the screen here. We are going to start commenting on the ones of July. In July we had like 3 in JavaScript Innovation Award. Johnny, which one would you like to comment?
Well, I would like to do the asynchronous function call by Andreas Todd.
Okay, can you share your screen? So
yeah, I will do that, so you guys can see my screen as well. Hold on. Let me see. Yes, it looks like. Let me enlarge the screen a little bit. Yeah, this should be okay, I guess. Is it readable?
Yes, I think.
All right, here we have the asynchronous function call by Andreas Todd, and this fine gentleman. He is from Hungary, if I'm correct. Let me see, where was that flag?
Yeah.
I lost this flag. Hold up. Ah, there it is. It's a responsive website, of course. Hungary, yeah. So this is his class, and let me see, what position did he get? It was the. Hold on, I can see your screen. He's the.
Yeah, for some reason it is not switching to your screen, but okay. I have forced to show your screen.
All right. So this gentleman, I think he won. Is that correct? I can see it on your screen. The asynchronous function call. Rank number 1. Yeah, so
you are seeing my screen?
Yeah, I'm seeing your screen in the Hangout. So
Well, I can see in live streaming you.
Yeah, no, this is the Hangout, not the live stream. So this gentleman, one.
Oh, are you selecting the window in your screen? You probably should unselect on the corner below.
No, I think it should be fine. Yeah, I see on the live stream. I can see what I'm showing.
Yeah, that's
So-
because I forced. Because
All
if
right.
I don't force,
Okay.
keep talking.
Okay, let's continue. This gentleman made a JavaScript asynchronous function call. So you would be able to, if I'm correct, to just chain all the JavaScript functions you have. And let me look at an example of that. Wait, this is something else I was thinking about. Hold on.
Yeah, in the bottom there is an example of how we call the chain functions. Yes.
Oh, right. Okay, this is actually kind of neat, really. It's just like jQuery does it as well, where you can just chain your functions calls. So you can see he's calling this function 3 times in a row. And that is called, it has a name. I forgot it. But yeah, that's this package. And let me see.
Yeah. I think the bottom also has some information, but I'm not sure if it has code. No, it's not.
No.
Well, anyway, the idea there is just to call some function asynchronously, and it even has a timeout, and if the current function is not yet returned, it moves on to the next function.
Yeah, that's actually really nice.
Yes.
Really nice.
It's a bit weird because in JavaScript you can do these things. Yeah. Okay, on my behalf, I also like to comment on a couple of classes. I've seen my screen. Okay. The first one that I wanted to comment is this one named JavaScript Summarized Text from Everton da Rosa from Brazil. He basically implemented a sort of a parser for pages that traverses the DOM tree and extracts some elements that have a certain data tag. Let me see if the example here. Let's see if you have this data attribute here, data summary. It will extract this and provides a summary of the pages. And this could be useful to create tables of contents, right? Inserting the summary of the page somewhere in the beginning, for instance. I don't know if it generates links to the correct sections, but it's still useful. And for this, Everton has picked one book of choice from PAC, which is a well-known book publisher that has been sponsoring the Innovation Award for quite a while. So congratulations to Everton. And the next one that I wanted to comment is called JavaScript Manipulate Table. This one is from Miguel from Venezuela, and it is interesting because it's probably better to show an example here. It's basically a way to filter some elements and show them, well, do something useful with them. And this can be done in tables dynamically, and it allows to do many operations with tables, like adding and removing cells, and rows, and columns. Well, adding and removing columns, it's not a trivial thing, because the way tables are organized in HTML, it's more in rows, not in columns. So it does a work that is not trivial there. So congratulations to Miguel. Miguel did not pick a prize, and sometimes this means, in this case, it means he probably did not get an email to pick his prize. So if he's listening, contact back, because you are entitled to a prize. Now, let me go through the Innovation Award ranking by author. In 2016, we have had a higher number of submissions, but still Understuff is ahead with 6 packages and 22 points. Then Thierry Francois from France with 5 packages and 18 points. Juan Jose from Spain with 1 package and 6 points. Martin Latter from the UK with 1 package and 5 points is tied with Evaldo Zimanek from Brazil and Carl Holtz from Canada. In 7th, the Pierre-Henri Soyava from, I think he's from France, but for some reason he omitted his country. Okay. Anyway, David Whitworth from Germany is tied with Pierre. And in 9th place, there is Everton Ross and Theo Wask with 1 package and 3 points. By country, things are more or less tied, but just with a few differences. So far, Hungary with 6 packages and 22 points is ahead. Then 2nd place, France with 6 packages and 21 points. Brazil with 3 packages and 10 points is in 3rd place. Then Germany, 2 packages and 7 points. Spain and Mexico with 6 points, despite there's a number of packages submitted. Then United Kingdom with 1 package and 5 points is tied with Canada. And there is a mysterious country here. Actually, this is a bug. Anyway. Then Armenia with 2 packages and 4 points. So this is for the JavaScript Innovation Award. Anyway, with this, we practically ended this podcast. I would like to thank you again, Arthurs, for making an effort to overcome your illness and record the JavaScript podcast. I hope next month you can also join the PHP podcast and the Innovation Award. This month, I had another developer from PHP classes, Johnny Mas from the Netherlands, that was kind enough to accept the invitation, and it was also interesting. But maybe if next month we can make it all together, it will even be better, I think, in my opinion. Okay, this practically ended this podcast. On my behalf, that is all for now. And right after this, there is another podcast which is about the latest PHP articles published in the podcast. So if you are watching the live streaming, just go ahead and hang on. We'll probably be back like in 10 minutes or so. Okay. Bye.
Bye.